Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Ritu Dhawan. I'm a psychologist by profession with specialization in child development. In my last 10 to 12 years of practice, I have come across many parents who feel that teens is a very troublesome period with lots and lots of trials and tribulations. Today, in this session, I want to break that myth and help and work towards making the parents and the educators understand the needs and the developmental changes that the youngsters undergo and to help them sail through this period so that peace reigns in every home. Teenage years bring with them multiple changes in the youngster's life in the area of physical, mental, social, emotional. These come too suddenly in the absence of the capacity and the capability to handle them. The physical area sees sudden growth spurt wherein you see increase in height, change in body shape, appearance of pubic hair, facial hair, which brings in a lot of changes in their appearance. In some cases, the teenagers approve of these changes and like them, but in other cases, they don't like their physical changing attributes and become very self-conscious. During this period, even approval by peers also plays a very important role. There is a lot of sharing, exchanging of notes with the peer group. In fact, the emotional impact of the friends becomes more important rather than the affect exchange of emotions with the parents at this time. Uh, if the teenager is mocked by peers for certain issues, it disturbs them quite a bit. In fact, most of the teenagers feel that they are at the center of attraction, they are at the center of attention, being at the center of the stage where everybody is watching them, where everybody is evaluating them, which brings in a lot of stress on the teenager's mind. So they become self-critical, they keep evaluating themselves in terms of their physical appearance. So there is so much focus on dressing up, looking good all the time, which raises or decreases their self-esteem, confidence. Apart from this, the teenagers during this time also start indulging in a lot of abstract thinking, daydreaming. This results in, most of the time, it results in idealism, where they believe that they believe that the world is an ideal place, which is a disconnect from reality. Uh, Eric Erikson has very beautifully put this stage as where the teenager is trying to look for identity, self identity, finding the answer to the question of who I am in the realm of the roles that he has to play. The confusion those roles are create in his mind. So actually, the teenager is trying to understand himself, and we as parents and educators have to help the children to understand themselves, to find the right path for them in terms of various areas, even in terms of their career, their future. So, what role we can play at this time as parents to help our youngsters? So, as parents and educators, we need to be consistent in setting standards for disciplining and expectations, but definitely with flexibility. Suppose your teenager wants to go and party, so you can't be rigid in not letting him go, but you can set standards, you can set limits that okay, once a week with limitation of time to come back. So any solution, so to any issue or any problem, the solution has to be reached with mutual agreement. You have to talk over, you have to discuss, you have to include their feelings, their point of views before taking any decision which concerns them. So, in fact, you have to start treating them like adults. You have to take their feelings, their emotions also into cognizance. Now, the approach has to be solution based in terms of any arguments, in terms of any disagreements. One has to work towards finding a solution to the issue. The teenagers are very high on emotional quotient. So the parents have to work on their own emotions, to keep check on their own emotions with various techniques like maybe meditation, time out, or whatever. So one has to work on one's own emotions so that in case of any arguments, any disagreements, you keep your emotions in check and work towards finding solutions to it. The lines of communication need to be absolutely open. You have to understand their feelings, emotions, and incorporate them in the decision making, in family decision making. Last but not the least, all this has to come with under your guidance. You have to guide your adolescent, your teenager with lots and lots of emotional support. So I think the best style of parenting or the way of parenting would be the democratic way of parenting, where you take everybody's point of view into focus before taking any call or any decision.